think I'm going to label this one Liberalism. Find a cure and fast. Just like that disease, it just keeps coming back. Liberalism. InfoWars. Cops accost a pro-Second Amendment Parkland survivor over gun range photos. I was treated like a criminal for no other reason than having gone to the gun range, says this young man. Parkland school shooting survivor Kyle Kushov says he was aggressively interrogated by police after social media posts showed he visited a gun range. On Friday, Kashuv, who does not prescribe to the anti-gun rhetoric of his fellow anti-Second Amendment #NeverAgain peers, wrote he was learning to fire a gun for the first time. And he wrote on his Twitter page, "It was great learning about our inalienable right of Second Amendment and how to properly use a gun. This was my first time ever touching a gun, and it made me appreciate the Constitution even more. My instructor was very informative. I learned a lot. Second Amendment is important, and we need to preserve our Second Amendment." Other posts showed that him firing his AR-15 and an instructor teaching him how to fire. A couple videos, 3 or 4 videos. When he returned to school on Monday, he was ordered to the principal's office, where he was informed that other students had been upset by his posts. Could you imagine being called out of class to the principal's office because someone was upset by something you wrote? Reminds me of Saul Rosenberg. "Hi, I need help. I need to sue somebody." For what? "Well, I fell down a flight of stairs and I got hurt." Okay, well, how did that happen? "Well, she said awful things to me and I fell down a flight of stairs." Okay, did she actually push you? "No, she just said awful things to me and I fell." Well, I don't know if you could sue for that. Well, why not? Well, because I don't think you can. Well, I'll sue everybody. I'll sue you. You can sue me for what? I don't know. Sue everybody. Saul Rosenberg, baby. Oh my God. Yes, that's right. But seriously, you imagine getting called to the... What did I do? "Well, you said awful things." Awful things? I just said how much fun I had shooting a gun in a gun range. "Yes. And some students at the school fell down some flights of stairs because your posts upset them." Saul Rosenberg. In a statement to The Wire, he described meeting with the armed campus resource officer, being questioned aggressively by a member of the Broward County Sheriff's Office, and said police repeatedly referred to him as the pro-Second Amendment kid. Near the end of my third period, my teacher got a call from the office saying I need to go down and see a Mr. Greenleaf. I didn't know Mr. Greenleaf, but it turned out that he was an armed school resource officer. I went down and found him, and he escorted me to his office. Then a second security officer walked in and sat behind me. Both began questioning me intensely. First, they began berating my tweet, although neither of them had even read it. Then they began aggressively asking questions about who I went to the range with, whose gun was used, about my father. They were incredibly condescending and rude. Then a third officer from the Broward County Sheriff's Office walked in and began asking me the same questions again. At that point, I asked whether I could record the interview. They said no. I asked if I had done anything wrong. Again, they answered no. I asked why I was there. One said, "Don't get snappy with me. Do you not remember what just happened here a few months ago?" They continued to question me aggressively, though they could cite nothing I had done wrong. They kept calling me the pro-Second Amendment kid. I was shocked and honestly scared. It definitely felt like they were attempting to intimidate me. I was treated like a criminal for no reason other than having gone to the gun range and posted on social media about it. So here's the thing I want to ask you. Which students notified the school that they were upset about his posts? Or is it possible that no students notified them? And once again, like Facebook did with that guy Brandon Raub that I told you guys about, posting certain things automatically get sent to the FBI, whether you know it or not. I'm leaning on that because that's exactly what has already happened. Again, to Brandon Raub, who I reached out to, and he said, I'd gladly come on your show if you want to talk. I might have to take him on. That was fairly recently, too. Now, of course, this is just my opinion, but, you know, it's, a cop can say, oh, yeah, an anonymous person told us, we got to, what they call Signal 13 in Florida, suspicious person or vehicle. And anybody can call and say, hey, there's someone walking down my street. Yeah, the cops will come. But the person walking down the street who has not been suspected of committing a crime, first of all, because there was no crime committed, can tell the cop, F off, leave me alone. And believe it or not, the cop is supposed to, by law, stop messing with you and leave you alone. Unless you are suspected and match the description, again, a description of someone who just committed a crime. Then you better listen to them. Which is why people will ask immediately, do you suspect me of committing a crime that's been committed, and I'm the guy that you think I did it? No. Then am I free to go, right? That's why you always hear that. This kid's at his school, and they felt it important to yank him out. We have a school resource officer who failed to go in and confront the gunner. We have a teacher at that school who said the gunner was in all black, like, gear, whatever, like almost like SWAT gear is what she described. Let's go back to Orlando Pulse. Orlando Pulse. The shooter's father, shows up and sits right behind Hillary Clinton in the bleacher section, VIP section. Did that guy get called in to the Secret Service, the FBI on his way down there? Or did they open up or invite him in with open arms? Lying beside you, right behind Hillary. You can't get into the VIP section. I said this 100 times. Unless you are a VIP. You don't just decide to walk in, oh, I'm going to go sit over there. No, because everybody who wanted to go see her would have loved to sat there. But this kid gets 3 armed officers questioning the hell out of him. Yet, the kid who supposedly shot at Parkland, the school, they had problems. Police were called in the past. They didn't do anything. FBI didn't do anything. Once again, don't do anything, something happens. This kid right here we're talking about right now has done nothing wrong, has never had any kind of issues, no one's ever been felt unsafe around him, and yet he does something completely, totally legal, gonna go have some fun at the shooting range. 3 officers berating him. My friends, this is all about the liberal left. If you want more of this stuff, to hear about stuff like this, keep voting these Democrats in. I'm just going to tell you, keep voting, especially these leftists, these liberal Democrats. Keep voting them in if this is the kind of stuff you want to keep hearing about. Take care.